Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Jesse Bellis from the 19th hole. We're going to do kind of like a pro refresher for you all, kind of the same format as we did a rookie. And this is going to be for the City of Lights tournament. And this tournament is going to be using the Parc de Paris course. So basically this is just going to be a video of my shots from previous tournaments where these holes were used. And we're going to talk about them and show you some examples of how to play them. I know pro and expert don't have a chance to practice these holes, so we're going to try to get you all up to speed on what you can do on each of these holes. So hole number 1 here, this is a par 4, and you have the option of going 2 different ways. You can play it to the right side, or if you have a good tailwind and a good driver with a lot of topspin, you can play it up the middle. So if you end up wanting to play it up the middle, your landing zone is going to be somewhere in here, and you're going to be aiming that second bounce to be in the rough there to kind of roll out there onto the fairway, and that will leave you a nice wedge to, short iron shot for that hole, for this hole. The way you're going to see me play it is to the right side, and you can either do what I'm going to do, which is actually go all the way over the rough, or you could actually play a shot, where you skip it on one side of the fairway across to the other side of the fairway, but you're really trying to get your shot up into this area no matter what for a second shot towards the green. So we're going to go ahead and just kind of watch this hole now, because I am playing it to the right side. So since we're going to go all the way over, we don't need to use topspin and right spin, which is what we would need to do if we were going to skip the shot over the rough. I'm going to play 10% adjustment for these drives. No matter which way you play, it's going to be 10% up the middle or to the right. And then we're setting ourselves up for a second shot long iron wedge. So there's our first shot right there, 307 yards, and that's going to set us up for our second shot, which is going to be the long iron. And you have a choice of your backbone, Saturn, or your Goliath. I'm using the Saturn here. You see I'm like really close to being in between clubs, so we definitely want to make sure that you are careful as far as the way you are playing that drive and not go too far up, because you do want to have the club to be able to get that shot to bounce over. So with straight tailwind here, going with just a little bit of spin. This is not a shot that requires a ton of spin. You kind of just want to bounce that ball over, let the slope of the ridge do a lot of the work, because you will get a rollout on this shot despite what you see here. Play this shot 0% elevation change, and we hit that one perfect. And we're going to see we come in and we get a nice bounce. We're going to miss just to the right, and without that ball guide, it's kind of a guessing game for that second shot. So if you can play it straight, get yourself in wedge range, that's the best way to play it. Alright, we got hole number 2 here. It's a par 3. This is a hole that we've only seen one other time in the Metro Open. And in my opinion, this is definitely a plus 20% shot. And you're going to be using either your long iron or your wood club. And as you can see, it really depends on what kind of a wind we have. So we have some sort of like a side headwind, then it looks like we'll be playing with a wood. Tailwind like this though, you're going to be fine with your Goliath. So we are playing for an extended ball guide here, so we are kind of assuming that the ball is going to get a little bit extra push on this shot. And you're going to play with couple bars of backspin and right spin on this shot, just to kind of guide that ball towards the hole. We hit perfect here. As you see, we're going to get a nice bounce. Our second bounce is right there on the edge of the green, and we get a nice roll into the hole, and we got the ace. Alright, next hole we have is hole number 3. Hole number 3 is a hole that can be played many different ways. You can go for the skip shot over the bunker and the rough. You can try to power it with a power 4, power 5 ball over the bunker and land in that fairway. You can also try a power hook shot as well on this hole. Lots of different things you can do on this hole, and I'll try to go into a little bit more detail on each of those shots when I do my pro expert guide video later in this week. So here I'm using a Thor 3. We're going to use the top spin on it. and just kind of play this shot to bounce over. Playing at 20, I think I played 25% here, and you know, moving forward I'd probably play a 20% elevation change for this downhill shot. Hop spin, left spin, as you see we get the nice bounce and we roll. Now for second shot here, you definitely want to bring wood club that gives you good distance. So, you know, big dog definitely, cataclysm as well is another good option, but definitely the big dog. Playing -5% for this second shot with the big dog. You definitely want to have at least a power 3 ball in minimum, and mostly for this second shot. So we're pushing our shot up into overpower to kind of get a handle on where our ball will land with 5.8 wind. And we're just going to adjust our spin accordingly. We're going to let our ball hit, bounce over, and then roll down to the hole. We're going to put a little bit of right curl just to kind of help grate proof that shot a little bit. And as you see, we get the nice bounce and the roll, and not too bad, right past the hole. We'll end up there on the edge of the fringe, a very easy eagle chip. Hole 4 is next. This is another hole, par 3, that we have not seen very often. It's only been used in one other tournament, the Metro. You're going to see me play this one at, I think I played it at plus 10% here in this tournament, but you're going to see that we really need a little bit more than plus 10%. It's a straight headwind, so 20% would definitely been probably the correct adjustment to play. We find a nice little flat area to get a consistent bounce. The farther you go up in that fairway, the more bumpy it gets. So finding that consistent bounce is definitely, you know, key to this hole. So we played 10%. If we had played 20%, we would have taken one more ring of adjustment up towards the hole. And as you're going to see, we get a nice bounce here, and we get a nice roll actually. But one extra yard further would definitely have gotten me a lot nicer of a roll towards the hole. Still not a bad shot, but you know, definitely always room for improvement. Alright, we got hole number 5 here is next. To me, playing this shot to the right hand side is the best way to play this hole. We'll play a plus 10% for the first shot and also a plus 10% for the second shot as well. I like accuracy drivers and drivers that have topspin for this shot because you do want your shot to roll up that fairway. Somewhere between 4 to 6 bars of topspin is what you're going to be looking for. And I'd say yes, definitely at least power 3 ball for this shot makes it much easier. So we get the bounce there and the roll, and as you see, we roll up there quite nicely. You know, somewhere up towards the front edge of that shadow is usually the best place to be. That's going to set you up for a min or a short iron thorn. You can either approach it going in from the front, or you can use a backspin shot. And I think we'll use a backspin shot here in this time playing the hole. So plus 10% for the shot, downhill still. You could also use a hornet on this hole as well. As you see, we're going to play our backspin here. We got the ball guide bouncing past the hole, and then we're going to use that backspin. We do have a straight tailwind, so kind of a little bit of an extended ball guide here on this shot. We adjust for our wind, and we're going to hit our shot here. As you see, we hit perfect. We get a nice bounce and a roll. This one stops, spins right back into the hole, dead center of the cup. Played that one perfectly. Alright, our next hole here is hole number 6. Another hole that we have not seen except for one time in the tournament. And, you know, we're going to play this one to the left side here. I think this is the only way to play this tee shot, is to the left. You want to use 4 to 6 bars of topspin and use left spin as well, because you want to, you know, kind of guide that shot over the bunker and up that fairway as best as you can. The farther you get up that fairway, the better position you are in for your second shot, and you'll be in better position for a chance at an albatross as well. The farther you can get up this fairway on the drive. And you see we hit it. And we get the nice bounce, and as you can see, we're going to jump over the sand bunker and roll up the fairway. Well played. So for the second shot, I like to play with the sniper. for my second shot. You can play to the right side of these trees as well. If you wanted to try to play a shot over here to curl it up and around, you can as well. But that's going to be a shot that's going to require some left curl. If you're up there where I am, you could use the sniper for that shot. I don't believe that shot gives you the best chance at the albatross. In my opinion, the best chance at the albatross is from this left side, where you use some right spin and get yourself just up there on the edge of this little slope, and then let the ball trickle back down to the hole for a possible albatross. You're going to see me play it to the left side. I don't play it very well to the left side, but you can still get kind of the general idea of what we're looking for here. So for the second shot, plus 10% for this second shot to this side. And you're going to be using somewhere around a couple bars of backspin, and you're going to be using right spin to take the ball guide into the ball path. As you can see, we go with too much backspin, which actually stops the ball too short up on the edge of that ridge. As you will see here in just a second, we get a shot that doesn't look bad, but it just stops way too short and doesn't allow the ball to get deep enough into the green to give it a good chance at rolling into that hole. So that's what we want to do, except we want to do that probably about 2 or 3 squares farther up into the green to give ourselves a chance. Alright, at hole 7 here next. And hole 7 is another hole that you can play many different ways. You're going to see me play it safe to the right, which is going to set me up for a long iron shot. But you could also play a shot to the left, where you're bouncing your shot in right here. You're bouncing over this rough in the water, and then rolling your shot out towards the fairway section right here. That will give you a nice little short iron wedge to the green. But in order to do that, you've got to have good wind, and you need to have a club with a lot of top spin and power. So for that shot right there, you definitely want a club with good curl as a stat, and you could also use a power curl shot as well if you wanted to. That's definitely a possibility. But definitely, something to think about and kind of watch the community boards for once the tournament starts, to kind of see how people are handling that shot with whatever kind of wind we get. And the wind that we do get definitely makes a big difference on how that shot is played. Because if you're not careful with your topspin, you can end up long in this rough or bunker. But if you're too short with it, then you can end up in this water or in the rough like right here, or even in a position like right here, which will be no bueno, because you won't have the ability to get through those trees. So it's definitely a very complicated strategy at first, but once you figure it out, or if someone else figures it out, then it's not quite as bad. So you're going to see me play to the right side here. We could have gone full top spin, full right spin, and tried to blast that one up, but we decided to play this one safe. And if you're going to play it safe, you might as well go with the club that gives you the best accuracy, which in my case was the quarterback. So we're just going to play the quarterback here. We want to try to lay that shot up into the letter shadow areas up there at the end of that fairway. The farther up that fairway, the better shot you have at the green with long iron, which I will play with a Goliath. So 10% downhill for this first initial drive. As you see, we roll it up there in between those end shadows, and that's in a good spot right there for that shot. 253 yards. So for this next shot here with the Goliath, we're going to try to just line this shot up the best we can. Your second shot here will be played at plus 20% downhill. And you're just you want that third bounce to be right there on the edge of the green. And actually, I'm actually a little bit too far into the green on that third bounce, honestly. You want it to be right there on the fringe. So we make our adjustment here for the wind. You're going to see the shot coming in. And you're going to see it come in with not a bad line, just a little bit too hot. Come in just a little bit too hot. Now, I don't even think that would have gone in if it would hit the hole. But you got that little back ridge on the back of the green. Always a chance for that ball to roll past and then back into the hole. You never know. Alright, hole number 8, par 3. For this shot here, you're going to be playing it with a sniper, most likely. Some people will play it with a guardian. I like the sniper here. I like to play this shot, just two ways you can play it. You can play it up more towards the front of this fairway, towards the green, or you can play it a little bit farther back. And the only difference is the amount of spin that you use on the ball. So right here you see I have a left to right side wind. So I'm trying to play my guide offset for the wind to actually push this shot back in. And we just play a 1-to-1 adjustment here because we're at mid club length and we're playing at plus 10%. Mid club plus 10% with a sniper is 1-to-1. So 1-to-1 with the offset, and we came very close to putting that one in the hole. So hopefully you all see what I did there on that shot with the offset for the wind. We had to set that one up. We played 1-to-1. We played the offset. We almost got the ace. Trying to find a consistent landing area on that last par 3 though is definitely key. So we got hole number 9 here, our last and final hole. We're playing this one to the right side. I don't think there's any way to play this hole except to this right side. Playing to the left side, really presents some issues for your second shot and trying to get close enough to that hole. I just don't see it, being a method of playing on this hole that makes any sense. Really all you want to do here is take a driver and get up as far up to this fairway and to the left as possible. As you're going to see, my ball kind of creeps back to the right hand side a little bit and I end up behind that tree. Now, I guess it's kind of good that I ended up behind this tree because I'm actually going to show you that it's possible to still get your shot towards the green even from behind that tree. You're going to play a plus 10% on that initial shot. Actually, no. For the initial shot, 0%. For the second shot, it's 10%. So we're trying to aim our shot in between these trees. As you see, there's no ball guide. That means it's being blocked by the tree, but that's okay because I am going to be using curl to kind of get around that tree still, and as you're going to see, it's going to work out fine. The only thing I don't do correctly is I actually should have had that shot target a lot farther up into those trees at max position. I shouldn't have had it farther back. But you see with the top spin and right spin, I'm still able to get through and onto the fairway next to the green. So it ended up working okay. But if I had had that shot target farther up into those trees like it should have been, I'd have been a lot closer to the edge of the green and a lot farther up to the left probably. So for this third shot, we're just going to extend our end bringer, kind of keep this ball out of the air as much as possible. And we're going to aim to the middle of the cup, and then we're going to make our adjustment, which ends us up about to the right edge of the cup for this shot. Alright, and we're going to make our shot. Just need to hit this one perfect. We have a really good chance. And we do hit it perfect. And you see we're going to roll it in for the eagle. Alright, y'all, that was holes 1 through 9 of the upcoming City of Lights tournament. This has been a pro kind of refresher course for you all. Hopefully, watching this kind of helps you all kind of get a feel for what to expect come Monday when you do actually get to see the course from the second tee. Unfortunately, there is no practice holes for the pro or the expert this tournament. So basically, everything that you can study is available to you on YouTube. The 3 courses that these holes have been played on were, like I said, the Metro Open, you have the Skyline Cup tournament, and then you also have the 2nd anniversary tournament. So my suggestion to you is try to go and kind of dig into some of those tournaments and watch some of the content provided by the streamers of the Golf Clash community. That's going to be your best way to study this course and to prepare yourself for Monday qualification. Alright? Appreciate y'all hanging out. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Also check out my friend Gio Viviani at his channel Golf Clash Italy. All kinds of great content, all different levels of play, and definitely a great and fun time. So definitely give him a check out when you get a chance. Alright, y'all, take care. Have a good day. God bless.